This is Get Real and Heal for high-performing women executives and entrepreneurs, where we discuss all things emotional healing and the relationships with yourself, your man, and your money. I'm your host, Jamila McMallow, wife, mother, certified cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner, mindset and relationship expert with over 20 years coaching and mentoring experience. I know that when you're the one that everyone else leans on, the leader and the trailblazer, it can be difficult to let your guard down, be vulnerable, and tend to your own emotions. So I hope today's discussion will allow you a moment to experience a life-changing realization, perhaps even a transformation. So let's begin and get real and heal. Okay, so a while back, because I am a love and relationship coach, I have been, I'll be asked different questions about stuff going on in pop culture. And I'll be honest with you, I typically don't follow it because I understand why certain information is put out there. And I think one of the biggest things that we need to do when we've made a decision about something that we want in our lives is we need to be very careful about what we allow to influence us, the source of information that we're listening to. Because if we, for example, the women that I work with, the single top performing women that I work with, they are desiring, to have a husband. They want to be married, but not just for the sake of being married. For them, it's like moving to the next chapter of their life. They've got the house, the car, the money, the great career, the success, but they want a husband to share it with, and not just some random guy, but really a man who also has accomplished, the things that he wants to do. And, that's what they're looking for, that compatible partner that they can spend the rest of their life with. And there's so much negative rhetoric out in the internet streets on relationships, and it's very confusing for women. And so one of the things that I always encourage my clients to do is anything that you hear that is discouraging or that's making you believe that what you want is not possible, then you need to unfollow, delete, whatever. There's no requirement that you are under obligation to listen to that. It's not going to help you. If you have decided that this is what you desire and you've put a period at the end of that sentence and you are standing in your certainty, that is how you are going to allow yourself to create those results in your life. And anything that tries to deter or detract you, you need to put up blinders and be singularly focused. It is no different than what you do in your career. You do it all the time. You decide on a goal that you're going to hit and you put those blinders on and you make it happen. And you don't allow anybody doubting you or anybody telling you, well, that's impossible, or you can't do that, or I've never seen that. You don't allow any of that to stop you. You're like, watch this. And so the same can be true when it comes to your relationships with men. But one of the things that I was asked about is this Tyler Perry interview that happened a while back. And I'm going to be honest with you, I did not watch it. Did not watch the podcast. I saw like a very short reel that showed a clip of it. And he was saying some comments about, women, black women, basically being grateful for a man who can pay the light bill. That's essentially the clip that I saw. And not having watched the entire podcast, I'm not going to comment on the entire podcast. But what I am going to say is that when it comes to me and who I am going to listen to when it comes to something that I desire, as far as I know, Tyler Perry has never been married. So what does he know, about what it means to be a good husband? My clients are women who are desiring a good husband. They're not desiring to just shack up with some dude that can only pay the light bill. And also, I know that Tyler Perry is not a black woman. So he doesn't get to mansplain us about an experience that he's never had. And finally, Tyler Perry, he does not speak for all black men. So just because these are his thoughts and feelings on the issue, so what? That's his personal opinion. Who cares? Ultimately, who cares what he thinks? So that's what I think about his comments. Who cares? He's an adult. It's a free country. He can say whatever he wants, but it has no bearing on what I think, feel, or believe to be true about me and men and relationships or any of those things, or what's possible for my clients. It's neither here nor there. But I do think it speaks to a larger issue that is a frustration for some women. And yes, I can speak into black women because I'm a black woman, but I do know that women who are at the top of their game professionally, this is true across the board, no matter what, ethnicity they are, because there is this feeling or sense that you will not be able to find a man that is on your level, as a woman because, oh, you've surpassed all of your options. And that's simply not the case. That's simply not true. There's like 8.5 billion people on the planet. Do you really think that there's not one man on the whole planet that's, compatible with you, that could be a great husband to you? Is that what you really believe? I mean, I know that you have an expanded view of money. I know that you have an expanded view of sales and success and all those things because of what you've created in your life. So I need you to also expand when it comes to relationships. Don't allow the things that you've been taught, that you've been conditioned to believe, to affect what you believe to be true and possible for you when it comes to men. No, you do not have to date potential. No, you do not have to date a project. No, you are under no obligation to take a man under your wing and feel like it's your job to build him up. No, absolutely not. We're not doing that, period. Because you don't have to. What would happen? How would your life change if you chose to believe that men who were successful, and not just successful, how would your life change if you believed that good men, like men of good character, good quality, that you're compatible with, but who are also financially thriving? What if you believed in every fiber of your being with complete and utter certainty that they were abundant? What if you believed that good men, good financially thriving men, are abundant? There is an abundance of them. They're everywhere. They're all over the place, and they're looking for you, and they love you, and you're like, oh my goodness, I just have to pick which one I want. What if you believed that to be true? How would your life change? How would your love life change? Because you can also conversely choose to believe that all the good men are taken, or there's no man left, or I'm too old, or they're too old, or they're too sickly. You can choose to believe whatever you want, and whatever you choose to believe is what is always going to be true for you. Remember Abe Lincoln's quote, whether you believe you can or can't, you're right. Yeah, that's the truth. Okay. Because I can believe that certain things are true and possible for me, and I'm able to create them effortlessly. But if the person next to me doesn't think it's possible, guess what they're not going to be able to do? They're not going to be able to do it because they don't believe that they can. So everything starts in your mind. Your thoughts matter. What you're thinking about matters. What you believe matters. And so what you never want to do is feed into any sort of negativity that is going to discourage you or deter you from your goal, what it is that you're actually desiring. Like I said, you already know this when it comes to your professional life. You may have even started to accomplish this when it comes to your health or your fitness. You know, if I want to accomplish this goal, if I want to live a healthy lifestyle, well, there are certain things that I'm going to have to eliminate from my psyche. There's certain shows I'm not going to watch. There's certain people I'm not going to follow on social media. There's certain friends I'm not going to go to dinner with because that's not who I am anymore. And I want to be surrounded by people and information that support me on the journey that I am trying to succeed on, to reach the finish line on. And so I know that you get that. And so I really want you to understand that it matters when it comes to your relationships with men, and stop being so wide open to everything that is out on the internet streets on relationships. Stop. Why are you following it? Why are you listening to it? Why are you getting worked up about it? Why are you resharing it and telling your friend, oh, I can't believe this? Who cares? Listen, we're in the age of social media. Everybody can have a platform and talk about whatever it is that they want, whatever it is that they believe to be true. It doesn't mean you have to waste your time and energy listening to it. It doesn't mean you have to waste your time and energy getting upset about it. It means you need to turn it off and look for sources of information and encouragement that pour life into what it is that you desire. If you desire a happy, healthy, fulfilling relationship with a good man, you want to be married, then perhaps a better source of information would be a happily married woman. A woman who has a similar background or path as you, who's accomplished what it is that you desire to accomplish. Perhaps she could show you the way. Because a man can't show you the way. He can tell you what men think. He can tell you what men do, but you don't have any control over that. Period. You don't have any control over what men think, say, or do. What you do have control over is you. And you are a woman. And you are uniquely designed, made, and created. And the way that you move is differently. And there's so many facets and layers to who you are and who you are being that a woman who's been there, done that is going to be able to guide you through that process, because it's not easy to unravel those layers so that you are able to create the results that you desire in your love life. Period. Dot. It's not. And so you can continue to listen to information. Listen, it's a free country. You can do whatever you want. You're listening to me right now, which I appreciate. Thanks. But if you were a woman that did not want to be married, if you were a woman that just wanted to, sleep around or just live with guys, this would not be the platform that you would want to listen to, because I don't support any of that. My clients, that's not what they want. That's not what I believe in. That's not what I support. I support in great women being with amazing men and then building a beautiful life and marriage together. That's what I support. Period. Because that's what that's what I did. You know what I mean? I'm essentially leading the way for women like me. And like attracts like. So the women who are like me are drawn to me because they're like, well, she figured it out, so maybe she can show me how to do it too. And that's exactly what I help them to do. So I just share that with you to say that there's no judgment, if you're just listening to this just for some FYI. But here's the point. You have to know what it is that you desire, and you have to be so crystal clear on it that you're unwilling to accept any other option. You have to have made a decision. This is what I want. This is what I'm doing. And you deciding that you want to have a happy, healthy, fulfilling marriage with a good man is not, it's not a weakness. It's not desperation. It's not. It's a desire. It's a natural desire. And if you have it, it's okay to stick your stake in the ground and say, that's it. I've heard some women say, 2024, that's my year. I'm getting my husband. I'm manifesting my husband. Good. That means you're making a decision. See, some of you haven't decided. Some of you are waiting on him to fall out of the sky, to fall into your lap, to just magically show up. And that's not going to happen, because the only thing that's ever standing in the way of our blessing is usually us not being ready to receive it. We're not prepared. So please don't think that a good man showing up is your only issue. Because if he showed up right now, would you be ready to move forward? Would you be ready to navigate a relationship with him? Have you ever been in a healthy, happy relationship with a good man before? Okay. Or have all your past relationships been projects, been potential, been men who have not met your needs, been men who won't commit? Okay. So if that's your past, that's who you've learned how to interact with. So how do you know how to interact with a good man? Yes, it's going to be a lot easier, because a good man is not going to be bringing out the worst in you. He's going to be bringing out the best in you. However, it's also a new skill set. It also is a new skill set navigating a healthy relationship, because you know how to navigate a toxic one or one that you don't like. So just circling back, no, I do not believe that you have to settle for a man that only checks off one of your boxes. I believe that you have to become so certain and so convicted and stand in what it is that you want, that you have so much certainty about it, that you know it's coming, and that's it. And you don't allow anything else to influence, discourage, or affect that decision, that desire, because you can have it. I was married for 14 years. It was a toxic marriage. It ended in divorce. Thankfully, we didn't have kids. And 18 months later, actually 1 year later, I met my husband, and less than 6 months later, we were married. So essentially 18 months later, after my divorce was final, I was married to the love of my life, and we'll be celebrating 10 years next year. And so I share that with you to say that I got it wrong for so many years. But there's a specific process that I went through to allow me to be positioned to get it right. And that's the process that I walk my clients through. And so I just share that with you, because a part of that process is your certainty. You being absolutely clear on what it is that you desire, and not allowing any man, woman, or whatever on the internet telling you what you should and should not believe, accept, or desire. Because anyone that's telling you that what you desire is unrealistic, they're telling you what they believe. They think it's unrealistic. It might be unrealistic for you, but it's not for me. I have a client who sells millions of dollars a year. Okay, millions of dollars a year. Now, for someone else, that might be might seem impossible. But for her, it's like drinking water and chewing bread. So it's not impossible for her. So I share that example with you so that you understand that just because someone tells you that, oh, that's unrealistic, or you're never going to find that. Okay, great. That's what you think, but that's not me. Sorry. Don't let their beliefs and their limitations, which is really what those are, their limitations, don't let their limitations affect you on your journey. You stay true to what it is that you desire. It doesn't matter what Tyler Perry says. It doesn't matter what any of these so-called gurus say. It doesn't matter what any movie star or anybody says. It doesn't matter what your best friend thinks. No. What matters is, what is it that you really desire? Are you crystal clear on it? And do you have absolute certainty that it is on its way? That is the key, my friend. That is the key. Visit CoachShamila.com, where you'll find the links to connect with me on social media and more information on my private coaching for high-performing women.